Hello everyone, you're watching Campus Channel and we are here today with the EDHEC Business School to talk about the MSc in financial markets. We have the director, Laurent Deville, and we also have a student, Baihe Li, here to take your questions. But first, before we take your questions, we're going to start with the pitch. Hi Laurent.
Hi.
How's it going?
Oh, very good for now.
Good. Oh, for now. Well, let's see how it's going to go with the pitch. You have 60 seconds flat. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, go.
Thank you. So the MSc in Financial Market is a one-year program that is entirely taught in English on our Nice campus. I'd like to say that EDHEC Business School is not a school of finance, but we have the luxury to have a campus that is fully dedicated to finance. It implies that we have concentrated our finance programs, our teaching and research faculty in finance, and our research finance dedicated to finance on the Nice campus, on the French Riviera, such as the EDHEC Risk Institute, for example. Within this program, the students have the opportunity to select a concentration to get deeper understanding of either asset management or trading. They also can opt for a fintech certificate that highlights their competencies that are acquired in these fields. I would like also to say that the program is sponsored by Bloomberg and benefits from an academic partnership from GAR, the Global Association of Risk Professionals.
All right, that's time.
Whoa, perfect.
Okay, was that all you had to say?
Exactly.
Well, you almost made it, but
exactly.
All right, good job. Let's move on to the face-to-face. Please remember to keep sending us your questions. They're going to show up right there. So let's take the first one. And you just mentioned Bloomberg. So Laurent, do you want to read this question for us?
Yeah, so does this program offer Bloomberg terminal training? And I say, yeah, sure.
Okay.
So we do offer. We have a trading room. In this trading room, we have 23 terminals. And all our students have to pass the Bloomberg Market Competencies, the BMC. And we offer specific training by Bloomberg professionals.
How busy does this trading room get? You have 23 terminals. Are they always constantly being used, or?
Yeah, like people in trading majors, they always go to the trading room because they need the terminal. Also, we have several other Bloomberg terminal in our library, so it's enough for students like daily use.
Okay, how often do you use this terminal?
Like weekly, because for every coursework I need the Bloomberg to download data to know the news. So it's very important for us. And the training program is really useful. Like I did it last year, yeah.
Okay.
And I know lots of like shortcuts and the functions in Bloomberg. It's really useful. Yeah.
Was it difficult to learn? Did it take a long time to learn?
It's just you need to watch the videos, and then there are some people from Bloomberg. They will actually teach us like hand by hand. It's okay. It's easy to learn. Yeah.
So Laurent, whenever students are looking for jobs after they graduate, how often are employers looking for these skills? Do most trading companies, most financial firms have Bloomberg terminals?
I guess so. And that I think for most of the job opportunities, the BMC is mandatory. You need to have it. So you can pass it without having access to Bloomberg terminals, but I think it's way easier in an environment where you get to use Bloomberg on a weekly basis in the coursework, or in the any cases you work on. They download data and find very useful data in Bloomberg.
Yeah. You were saying that you've had 2 internships. So
yeah.
Did you use BMC certification or the terminals there?
Like every day.
Okay.
Daily basis, I need to sit in front of the Bloomberg and doing no matter quantitative research or the other works that my director assigned to me, but I really need to use them. And the thing is that I think Bloomberg, you need to practice a lot so that you can be really skilled at it. And that's something good about having terminal in our school, so that we can actually practice and make better use when you work.
All right, critical skills. Let's take the next question here, Laurent.
How does this program approach comparative teaching of international stock markets, US Stock Exchange, Paris Bourse, Hong Kong Exchange? I would say that it's mostly in the trading courses that we really tackle these topics. That I think we have a microstructure course that was taught a few weeks ago to you, I think. And in this course, we really take a look at how are the key differences in between these exchanges. So, because if you look at from an academic perspective, most of the research is done on the US market. But on a professional perspective,
Yeah.
you're going to trade on all markets. So you
Certainly.
have to be aware of the differences in between all these markets.
Yeah, also like we have some theoretical course, but when we need to apply them to our coursework, we can choose whatever markets we want. So some people will choose the Gagahant and some people will choose the Chinese markets. So yeah, you have a lot of chance to access those markets, no matter on school or after school.
So does the Bloomberg terminals, do they include these markets as well?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, sure.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything that they have access. Well, they don't have access to every single
Certainly.
Yeah, but
data
most
that is
of-
existing in the world, but most of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, sure, they have access to these. I think what is important also is to have an understanding of regulations, and we have regulation courses that will take place second semester, and in which we will also emphasize the differences in market structures and regulations.
Okay, let's take the next question. Baihe, will you
Yeah,
read this,
sure.
please?
Does your master address long-term stock market investment? It depends on how you define the long-term, I think. Some people will think the long-term is more to the valuation of the stock, but we have some access to this kind of content. We have like sustainable investing next year and next semester. Yeah, I think those will strengthen the long-term part. But I mean, for some technical, they will also, like technical trading things, they will also strengthen this part, I think. Yeah.
Maybe I'm going to spoil
go
a
ahead.
little
Yeah.
bit
Yes.
what Baihe will learn in the second semester, but we have this class investment solution that has been built with the help of the EDHEC Risk Institute. And I think what investment solution is about is finding solution to problems that investors face. And one of these problems is the retirement. Funding your retirement years, I would say this is a long-term problematic. And
very important problematic.
that's problematic
not
for
only
the
for the-
people, but also for the society.
Right, for governments as well.
Exactly. And so in this course, they are going to tackle this issue at EDHEC. At EDHEC Risk Institute, they've been working on this question about how to solve that puzzle, that people don't invest in the right products to have a proper, just to be able to maintain their lifestyle after retirement. And so they've been working on that from an academic perspective. And then after that, looking that the industry was not taking over, well, they're going to do it by themselves. They are proposing their own solutions to that issue. So
And these are solutions coming from students. Is it?
No, not coming from students. The students will be exposed to this solution in these classes. They will have exposure.
Yeah.
Baihe is going to work with Lionel Martellini from EDHEC
Yeah.
Risk Institute. They are going to work on these questions.
Pension fund, yeah.
Pension funds, which kind of product? How can we build up a product that is not only meaningful but also useful?
Yeah.
I think that really matters.
This sounds like almost an aspect of innovation research on EDHEC's part.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that this is one of her key differences, in a sense that the research we promote at EDHEC is research for business. So it has to be valuable from an academic perspective, but it also have to answer questions that are asked by the industry or by the investor. It has to be useful. That I think. In that sense, we are doing some different research, and the student get access to very up-to-date results. And they get a first mover advantage, I would say.
Before we move on, are there any other areas or topics of research that are particularly innovative or that EDHEC is trying to innovate in?
I think that is something supported by our Risk Institute. Actually, like for this year, we have it's a program? Oh no, it's not a program. It's like a student research team. So you can choose actually to choose the topic that you are interested in. Then a faculty or professor from the really professional faculties from the Risk Institute to guide you, to tell you how you want to innovate on this idea. Like for example, I'm participating in this track, so it's not a track. I participated in this team, so yeah, I'm working on some innovative thing that Professor just mentioned, the pension fund things. Yeah.
All right. Looks like yes. You want to add something
maybe
very quickly?
something that
very
I can
quickly,
add very quickly about indices. So you know that you may know or not that EDHEC has been working on building indices, building what were the so-called smart beta indices or factor indices, and as a spin-off of EDHEC Risk, we have created at EDHEC a company that is selling these indices. And now there are many billions of assets under management that are tracking EDHEC indices. So this is another example of how innovative the finance at EDHEC can be.
Well, it sounds like you're making a lot of money there, EDHEC.
Yeah, exactly. well, this is you get small fees on those, but that's and it's very expensive also to produce those indices.
Certainly.
But I think this is really an interesting example of, well, we want the research to be useful, and if the industry is not grasping the research that we are producing that is well available, then let's do it ourselves.
All right, let's take the next question. It looks like it's for you.
Yes, it's for me. Hi, Baihe. What was your professional experience before this semester? Do I need experience in financial markets to apply? Yeah, before this year, I had 2 internships. One in Germany is investment banking. I do the securitization, and the second internship is in Société Générale. I did in the Elixir Asset Management in global equities team. So it's all in financial markets. But it really helps me to identify I really want to enter this sector, and it gives me some, I would say, practical foundation to learn this year course. But what I think, experience is not a must, right? It only helps you yourself to know you really want to enter this area, and it also shows to the admission office that you are really want to do these things. So these are something to support you, I think. But I don't think it's a must. It's better to have, but it's not a must.
It's not a requirement.
Yep.
So I would say that professional experience is not a requirement, but students who apply to the MSc must have in mind that they will share the classroom with students who are in our Master in Management program, and these students have gone through a 1-year professional immersion. Okay, so that's not a requirement, but that would help them to really grasp the content that we teach in the MSc year.
Is it a disadvantage to not having professional experience in financial markets before applying to
in financial market, I wouldn't say so.
Okay,
but to have a first professional experience in finance would be a good thing. Yeah. This is not a requirement, but that would be a good thing, because really what you share the classroom with other types of students, and the other types of students do have this professional experience, and I think that would help to really understand why what we teach is useful.
All right, let's take the next question here, Laurent.
Is it possible for foreign students from outside the European Union to stay in France to work after graduation? Sure it is, and I think we're going to discuss that with Baihe afterward. But the MSc in financial market is recognized by the French government. It has the grad master, and so it facilitates any issues with respect to the working permit after the graduation. So indeed. I have to emphasize that 77% of my students will land in a job outside their home country. And since I have many students from outside Europe, and that 75% of my students will have a job in Europe, they stay and they're able to.
Yeah, I will take myself as an example. I plan to stay in Europe or in France after I graduate. So currently I'm receiving interviews what I applied, I received interviews. So I think it's possible for me to work after the graduation. Although I did 2 internships before. So before I come to EDHEC, so many people tell me that it's so difficult that you will find an internship or work in Europe. But I did it. So I think it's possible, and it's positively positive.
You were living proof that it's possible. Yeah. All right, well, we're going to take our first break from the questions because it's time for 3 words max taboo. So our guests have 3 words, as usual, to describe their program, and they get 1 phrase to explain each word, except since it's taboo, we here at Campus Channel have also chosen 3 words, and if our guests use any of those 3 words in their words, then they get the buzzer. So, are you ready?
Yeah.
What's word number 1 going to be?
I would be demanding.
Okay.
Because the program is extremely demanding on the student size. That's my first. Fine.
Easy, yeah.
Second one, diversity.
Okay.
Because our students have very different backgrounds and different origin, and I think that really makes the program what it is.
All right.
And the third one would be?
I think it's like the strong academic reputation provided by this program. We have lots of top professors. We have brilliant classmates. So like the academic environment is so important. It's so great. Yeah.
You did it. That is the most succinct 3 words max I've ever done. So good job and no buzzes. You passed. All right, let's take the next question here. Baihe, will you take this?
What kinds of jobs and where do graduates land? Okay. I think it depends on what you want, but basically most of my classmates, if they choose trading, they will probably become a trader or sales in the future, investment banking. If you want to do asset management, most of them goes to the asset management. So it's basically decide by yourself what you really want to do after graduate. But I think most of the people will stay what they learn, what they want to do at the beginning. Yeah.
So do you have any statistics to complement that?
Yeah, I have some figures. So where do they land? Our students land anywhere in the world, in the 4 continents, but mostly in Europe. So I have 75% of our students who land in European companies, and 77, as I said before, who get their first position outside their home country. Which kind of position? Well, mostly investment banking and trading, but also financial advisory and other types of jobs. We have some students who continue their to a PhD, for example, also possible. So everything's possible, but for sure, MSc in financial market, mostly investment banking. Which companies? Name any top company, and I will have EDHEC student in this.
Goldman Sachs.
Yeah,
Goldman
that's
Sachs, BlackRock, Merrill
Stanley,
Lynch,
yeah.
Société Générale, Commerzbank, Deutsche Bank.
Yeah.
Any large investment bank, we have EDHEC alumni over there.
And so how long does it typically take students or graduates to find these jobs? Do they take another internship after they graduate, or how long?
So it depends, but most of our students, they secure their job before they finish their degree.
Yeah,
most
because
of
they usually apply for the graduate program, so it's basically you get offer just after you graduate. But some people, they don't have previous experience, so they may do another internship or another summer internship, and then they get an offer in 1 year.
Okay, so you did 2 internships. You did one in Munich, you did one in Paris.
Yeah.
We have this stereotype that it's very hectic in the financial world, that people work very crazy hours. Did you see any of that? Did the stress put you off of your career path?
I mean, there are some stress, but it's handleable. It's handleable. Like, for example, I work in Munich, but that's not a quite long hour. I go to work like 8:30, and then I finish at 6, so it's not a quite long hour. But
it's a pretty normal day.
Yeah, it's a pretty normal day. And then in Elixir, the working hours is a bit long, but it's handleable. Yeah, you have something to do. It's not just you sitting there and waiting to be off work. So you are really working on something. So it's a meaningful day. So you will not realize that you have worked so many hours. Yeah.
All right, very good. Let's take the next question here, Laurent.
Does this program have any enterprise partner links? So, as I told in the introduction, that as a corporate sponsor, we have Bloomberg, but also that the Career Center at EDHEC has links with many financial institutions. At the beginning of the year, we have the EDHEC Finance Fair, and I think we have how many companies? 60, 70 companies were
so
present
many,
on campus.
Cover all the campus. Like this year, I attend the Career Fair. So almost the banks have come to EDHEC. So their recruiters, their business unit actually come to EDHEC, so you can actually talk with them. And also every year we have the London track and the Paris track. So it's actually you go to their office and see how the people are working there and how their office like, and talk to the people who is really working there and talk with your alumni who works there. It's really helpful to yourself to identify which company you really want to go, and you can know some like inside information, and you can talk to the people. And what I want to say is that you can build maybe your own network within the bank, so it's quite useful for your future career development. So
during the London trek, to which company did you go to?
I went to the Pinnacle, a top asset manager in the world, and I went to Commerzbank. I went to HSBC. Yeah. Those are three.
Sounds like a packed trip.
Yeah.
And very productive.
Yeah, very productive.
So did you get helpful professional contacts out of that?
Yeah, I talked to several people and understand what's going on the markets, and some people are really impressed by my understanding of the markets or my resume. So we are keeping in contact to see what's going on.
All right, very good. Let's take the next question, Laurent.
What courses on finance and trade law and ethics are included in the curriculum? Well, so I should know my program by heart. So I don't have an exact figure of how many hours you're going to spend on all these topics. We have compliance classes. We have classes on
ethics.
Ethics and finance. So these are different things. I think we have this very important course, ethics and finance, a 15 hours course.
So you're actually, it's not just a workshop, or you're not just cramming it all in to say that you've covered it. You're actually spending time going over these topics and exploring.
Yeah, this course is taught by a philosopher, in fact. That's, yeah, as a concept, what is ethics and how should that be applied to the financial world? Okay, and then also we have more practical courses on compliance issues. That compliance is the buzzword now. And it's so important that we have increased the content on compliance and risk management. So risk management is not necessarily what you mean by finance and trade law and ethics, but at some point that if you want to be compliant, you have to be adaptive in terms of risk management, and we have introduced these courses very lately on the program.
And also I think that EDHEC really encourages students to take the CFA exam. So within the CFA, there is a huge percentage of ethics, how you should perform in investment banking, how you should perform to your clients. So I think that would also help. Yeah.
And how is this program keeping up with the current news? How is it treating things like Brexit and how that's going to change financial regulation between Europe and Great Britain?
Yeah, well, the person who knows what's going to happen, I'd like to meet with.
Yeah, of course.
The question is we are teaching our students to be agile. So I think it's not about landing in a first job and saying that, I want to do some asset management and I will get a first job at BlackRock and that's it. I just arrived. You're not arrived. That we're working on building a career. And so how to build a career, I don't know what the finance will look like, the financial world, financial market will look like in 5 years' time. So in the next 2 or 3 years, we pretty much know what topics we have to tackle, but over the next 5-10 years, what will the world look like? That we have seen so many innovations over the past 3-4 years that we're not thinking about. So I think that what I do is try to prepare them to be able to grasp anything that was unexpected. So I'm not sure I'm answering your question, but that's my point. So how to do that? Yeah, how to handle the Brexit. I don't want to have a macroeconomics class saying that, okay, let's do theory of financial crisis. Okay, this is interesting from an academic perspective. Yeah. What I want my students is to be able to react in a situation when it really happens. And I think that goes through these adaptive risk management courses. That was exactly about that. How to face this kind of situation that we're not expecting. I think working on the unexpected is better than just trying to tackle one issue or another, because, the issue that we're going to face in the future, that the students are going to face in their career, are not things that we can already know.
All right, let's take the next question, Baihe.
Yeah, sure. What should I expect in terms of workload and class schedule? Okay. First, I would say that the program is really an intensive one. You cannot expect you can travel around the world during the program. That's impossible. The class schedule, we basically have 4 or 5 days. We all have classes every day and we have coursework. But it's not a horrible one that you don't even have time to relax. So I think it's a balance. But most of the time you need to focus on your work because this course is, as I mentioned, is really intensive. Because of the intensive, you can really get something. Yeah.
So how much time would you say you spend in class and then outside of class doing homework?
Yeah, I would say after the course, I would spend maybe course take 60%, No, it's the other way. Course 40%, and then the coursework may take 60%, no matter it's an individual one or it's a group one. But after those, if you manage well, you can have sometimes relax.
So many in terms of hours. How many hours a week do you spend in class?
So we have 400 hours of classes in total over the year. And that are spread over the 2 semesters. I would say that you would spend 3 to 6 hours per day in class.
Yeah, so
that would be
15 hours.
Yeah, that would be, I would say, 15 to 20 hours per week in class.
Yeah.
All right, let's take the next question here, Laurent.
Does this program address cryptocurrency and blockchain? Yeah, well,
we have a course called cryptocurrency and blockchain.
Yeah.
We exactly have the same course.
So an entire course based on, or that teaches this subject.
Yeah,
okay.
And we also, if you want to do some innovative research, we also have this kind of topic. And what I want to say is that we have a fintech certificate. Is that the correct name? Yeah. We have a fintech certificate. So actually, it is a certificate that embraces the whole, I would say, the whole technology innovation. You need to learn the blockchain, you need to learn machine learning, big data, artificial intelligence. So it's really adaptive to what the technology is changing to the financial markets.
So these are fairly recent topics, fairly recent subjects and innovations. Who's teaching these courses? Do you have experts who have developed these technologies?
I have to admit that this is going to be the first year that we have this elective.
Okay.
That it has been created at some point. You have to catch up with the industry, and then you cannot always rely on the permanent faculty. So in that case, we are relying on an expert who is working in that field. So it's often the case with electives that we work with experts, and with the core courses, we mostly work with the permanent faculty at EDHEC.
Yeah. I was really surprised when I see this course in the third year, because I joined EDHEC 2 years ago. At that time, we don't have this program, I think. Yeah, and after 2 years, when those things come to people's mind, when those things really begin to change the market, EDHEC adapts those contents into our course. So they are really keep us to the trend. We are not teaching some things that happened 10 years ago. We are really teaching something that happens right now, and you really need to know.
All right, well, it's time for our next break. Where are we going? We're not quite sure, but we're going to find out with Final Destination. All right, so Baihe, it's to you.
Okay. I should read it out?
Yes, please.
What best characterizes my class is,
all right.
I would say international, because people are from really all over the world. We have students from France, of course. We have students from China. We have students from other European countries, and we even have students from US. So it's basically cover all over the world. It's very interesting that you are really spend your time with people from different cultures, from different origins. They really have like different ideas about the same thing. So it's really interesting when you talk to them, when you need to know, when you could have the opportunity to know the different perspective of a thing. It's really interesting.
Can you give me an example of something that these different nationalities might have a different point of view on or opinion?
Yeah, I think it happens every day. Like, for example, on the course, when professor raise up a question, people, like, for example, they are coming up authors that I never really thought about in the perspective, and I will come up some perspective that they really never thought about. So our answers actually constitute of the whole perspective, like a very comprehensive understanding of the question that professor raised. Also during the coursework, people may have different opinion on how we should work on the project. And then, after you discuss, after you not compromise, after you really make agreement, after this process, the things become more efficient, become more,
And so Laurent, for you as a director of the program and as a professor, I'm assuming maybe you learn as well from your students, since you have students from all over the world. So when you ask a question, you're getting feedback that you might not have thought of as well.
Yeah, some of them are, when I discuss with them, some students, they come from a different culture. They are a little bit surprised about the intensity of the program, because they've been taught in a different way. And so we are an international school, but still we live in the French system. So I think it's a little bit of both. And so I also learned from them that maybe we should amend sometime a little bit the program so that we get the best of the two worlds, I would say.
All right, let's move on back to the questions. Laurent, will you read this, please?
Hello, I have average marks in my current studies, around 13, but I passed the CFA Level 1 exam. Do I have chances to join the program? Thanks. Well, I would say
don't give them bad news.
Yeah. No, I know that the grading standards are not the same in all the countries. This is something that is very difficult to compare. The graded system in Italy, grading system in France, graded system in Germany, in China, all over the world. They have different ways of grading students. Still, this is a very selective program. That's selective in the sense that we have a capacity constraint of around 80 students. As I told earlier, some of the students come directly from the Master in Management program, so I have some seats that are reserved from international students. We are working on a rolling basis. So, and we are trying to select, well, the students who best fit in the program. That you have CFA Level 1, well, this is a good thing, but that's not enough. I would say that, well, not anyone can get the CFA Level 1. I'm not saying so, but that will not compensate for average grades. I'm afraid to say so.
All right. Let's move on. Let's take the next question. Baihe.
Do you teach any management skills or soft skills in this program in addition to financial tools we learn? Yeah, sure. That's what I mentioned for the talent identification and career development. So every year, on the first day you join EDHEC, you are joining this program. This is a coaching program offered by our career center. So they really accompany you from the first day you are in EDHEC. They talk with you to identify what you want to do in the future, and they help you to identify your future career path. And then, like, normally, periodically, you have like training on how you should handle group work, how you should handle the interviews, how you should perform when you really enter to the job market. So those are the soft skills I think that are quite important. The Career Center are helping us to form. And also, I think during the coursework, like for every course, we have coursework, we have group coursework. And those are the things that really cultivate taught your soft skill, cultivate your soft skill.
Yeah, but also with the Career Center, that all our students go through a full assessment center. And they have individual assessment of their soft skills.
It's a tough day. From the beginning of the day to the end of the day. You have individual interview, you have group exercise, and then you have the assessment of your performance.
And if the students show any weakness, then what we're going to do is simply work on those with them on an individual basis.
You can arrange like meetings with our career advisors from Career Center to, I would say, to improve your weakness, to solve those problems that you think you cannot solve by yourself.
All right, let's take the next question, Laurent.
So what is the international mix of students in this program? I would say that roughly I have 40 to 50% of French students, and let me do the math.
Yes,
I have 50 to 60% of international
You
students.
passed. If you had not gotten those numbers right, I think you would have lost all your applicants.
Exactly. So 50 to 60% depending on the year of international students from all over the world, I would say, as Baihe.
Yeah, it's not a class constituted of full French people. Yeah, we have lots of international students around us. Yeah.
So what's that like between the international students and the French students? Is it easy? Does everyone integrate, or do the French students keep to themselves and the English-speaking international students?
Yeah, I mean, when people grow up, they just mix together.
Yeah.
They need to discuss about the problems. They need to think those things in another way. And they need to learn from others. So everybody is kind of mixed up. We talk to each other, and we have some after-work party organized by our class representatives. So it's a good opportunity for us to communicate, to mix up. Yeah.
All right, let's take the next question that's going to show up here. And yes, Baihe, will you read this?
Sure. Does the curriculum include any trading simulations or serious games? Like for me, I choose the asset management, so maybe you can answer this question.
So I think that in the trading concentration, for sure, you are going to face trading simulations. We have this trading in practice class that takes place in the trading room, that where students will trade among themselves. Serious games, we are developing one in investment solutions, so this is something that's going to happen. This is not the core of the program, but this is something that our students work on. And we also send our students to international trading competition. This summer I was in Roma with a group of students. They ended up, I think, 6 out of 40 teams on a
not too
trading
bad.
Competition. Yeah, not too bad, but they could have been
also
done better.
You're cracking the whip on them next year, huh?
Yeah. And also, like, we have lots of cooperations with other like banks or companies. They will sometimes provide some competitions in our school, so we can actually go to the competition if you are really interested in like practical practice of those things. Yeah.
All right, here's the next question here, Laurent.
What career services support do you offer students? Could you help make connection with human resources at Goldman Sachs, for example? That's what we've been talking about. We have an incredible career center and since the Nice campus is fully dedicated to finance, the career center on the Nice campus is fully dedicated to the finance student, which makes it specific. We have very strong ties with the industry. So which kind of support? We're talking about talent identification and career development that takes place at the beginning of the year, TICD, but all the year long, the students get support from the career center and they get the individual support. So yeah, sure, we have connections with industry, but networking, that you cannot do it only through the career center. At some point, you will have to build up your own network. So the career center helps that, and then you have to grow up your network.
Very quickly before we wrap up, there's one thing that I think that I wanted to ask you about. So we're talking about this being on the Nice campus, and we're talking about big, important financial companies. Nice isn't necessarily a financial center, so why, very quickly, if you can tell me before we wrap up, why study financial markets or any kind of finance or investment in Nice?
Yeah, that was a choice that was made by EDHEC. That was 12 years ago, to say, okay, now let's try to have a focus on finance on this campus. Is it possible or not? That was questionable. This is not a financial hub, for sure. That there is a little bit of finance going on in Monaco, and in particular in asset management.
But yes,
this
very
is
big money in Monaco.
Exactly, and about wealth management, but this is not the place if we compare with Paris or London. Yeah, lifestyle, I would say, that would be...
That's quite considerable to our students. We have quite intensive course, so what we need is some sunshine and a beautiful scenery, beautiful view of the sea, of the beaches. So yeah, it's very important to have a good environment while you are studying. Like while you are really meeting some challenge program, you need some relaxings. I think that's quite considerable.
Yeah, but... Also, honestly, we have to say that the school had this campus in Nice before it took the decision to focus in finance on that campus. But we benefit in the Nice area from fintech companies. You have Sophia Antipolis, where you have a lot of fintech companies that grow up. This is an environment that is booming in a sense. Why finance? Well, that was the choice. Has it been successful? Yeah, that history told us that we have been successful at building a very serious competitor to Paris and London institutions.
All right, very good. Well, we're almost out of time, so we're going to have to wrap up, and we want to finish with something nice. So we'll end with the sweetest. So unfortunately, Laurent, we only have time for you to tell us what your favorite question or moment from the interview was.
Oh my God. I completely forgot about that.
Yes, no, okay.
No, that's moment where when students say, can I have connection with Goldman Sachs? And I think that this is really important that we offer this kind of connections, that the school has this very tight link with the financial industry. And it's really important for me to emphasize that we do have this relationship, and the companies, it's more difficult for them to come to Nice than to go to Paris or London, but they happily come. And during the finance fair that we had this year, we had 70 companies from London, from Paris, from Frankfurt. They came to the Nice campus, and they can also enjoy the French Riviera a little bit.
All right, very good. Well, thank you both very much for being here and sharing your insights about your program. And thank you for joining us. We'll see you again next time right here on Campus Channel.